안녕하십니까? My name is Robert Gordon. I'm an assistant professor here at the University of Ulsan in the law department. Today, I'd like to share with you some common idioms and expressions that you might encounter in reading or listening to English. Idioms are very interesting because if you read a phrase or hear a phrase, the phrase itself may not make sense. For example, well, let's first define what an idiom is. An idiom is an expression where the words are not to be taken literally. An idiom is an expression where the words are not to be taken literally. The words have a figurative meaning which is trying to convey another type of information. For example, you might hear the phrase, "he kicked the bucket." If we take that phrase literally, it would mean that I had a bucket and I kicked it. But actually, it doesn't mean to literally kick a bucket. The idiomatic meaning, or the figurative meaning, is a person has died or passed away. Now, you can use this expression for people or you can use it for animals. For example, someone says, "What happened to your pet dog? Was he sick?" "Yeah, he kicked the bucket." It means that the pet died. So idioms are important to learn in learning English because if you just read the words, you might not understand what they mean. So we're going to go through a few idiomatic expressions this morning. Here's another. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Literally, that would mean you had a bird in your hand and it's more valuable than two birds in the bushes, but that doesn't make sense. What it means is it's better to take a sure opportunity than to wait for a theoretical one. For example, someone's going for a job offer and their friend asks them, "Did Samsung make you a job offer?" And they answer, "Yes, but I'm waiting to see if LG or Hyundai will also give me an offer." The friend responds, "Well, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush," meaning it's better to take a sure opportunity than to wait for an opportunity that may not come to pass. Will you hold on? Another expression. Literally, it would mean holding on to something. But what it actually means is just wait, hold on. Another way of saying that is, will you hold your horses? This expression comes from a time when there weren't automobiles and people got around by horse and carriage. So if someone was in a rush and they wanted to go somewhere, they'd get the horses ready and ready to take the passenger wherever they wanted to go. So you could use this to mean don't be in such a rush. For example, your friend says, "I'm late for dinner. Will you hurry up?" You could respond, "Why don't you just hold your horses?" It means to wait. Don't be in such a rush. Here's another one. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. This expression comes from, well, there's two ideas of where this comes from. One, if you wanted to know the quality of a horse, if someone gave you a horse and you wanted to know how old they were, you could physically look in the horse's mouth and see how long their teeth were or what the condition of their teeth were. This would tell you how old the horse was and what the value of the horse was. So the idiomatic expression means you should accept a gift and don't try to guess the value of it. Another example of where this expression might come from is from Greek mythology. As you might be aware, there's the mythology of the Trojan War, where the Greeks were fighting the Trojans, and they were fighting them for quite a long time and not being successful. So they devised a plan to defeat the city of Troy. They made a wooden horse, huge wooden horse, and they filled it with soldiers, and they left it outside the gates of Troy as a gift. When the citizens of Troy brought the horse inside, later that evening, the soldiers came out, opened the gates of the city, and let the Greek soldiers in so that they could defeat the city. So one way you could look at this expression is, here's a gift horse. Don't look in its mouth to see if there's something hidden inside. Don't look there and try to wonder, what's the catch? Why are they giving this to me? Just accept the gift. So here's an example. Susan gave me her tickets to Hawaii. I wonder how much she paid for them. You could say, hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Just accept it. Or if you said, Susan gave me her tickets to Hawaii. I wonder, why did she give me those tickets? Again, you could say, hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Just accept it. There are no strings attached. This is a little similar to don't look a gift horse in the mouth. It means there are no conditions or obligations to you. For example, I'm holding a video controller. If someone gave this to me and said, sure, you can use this, but if there were strings attached, there wouldn't be a literal string attached. It would mean, yeah, I'll let you use this, but you have to do something for me. It's like a string that's pulling the gift back. It's attached to the gift. So if there's no strings attached, it means there are no other conditions or obligations that you need to fulfill. Kill two birds with one stone. Again, taken literally, it means I'm going to try to kill two birds with one stone. Doesn't make any sense. What it means is you're trying to accomplish two or more tasks with one effort or the same effort. That hit the spot. Again, not literal. It means that if you're eating something, the taste of the food was so satisfying, it's as if when the food reached your stomach, oh, that hit the spot. It was great. Mashisayo. That is water under the bridge. Here, if you imagine you're standing on a bridge and a river is flowing underneath you, when the water is right at the bridge, that's a moment of opportunity. However, if the water passes by, you no longer have the opportunity to view that particular part of the river. So its idiomatic meaning is, what is past is past. You can't change it. Don't worry about it. That is water that is already passed under the bridge. Another bridge example. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. This means, don't worry about what will happen. When and if it does happen, we will deal with it then. This is very common in business meetings. For example, if you're in a business meeting and you're developing a new product, and someone says, well, what happens if such and such happens? And you as the presenter might think, that's not so important, so we're not going to discuss it now. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. We'll wait until that actually happens before we deal with it. So that's what that means. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. Another bridge example. Don't burn your bridges. Don't burn your bridges. Its idiomatic meaning is, do not anger or offend people just because you are leaving. You might need their help one day. This example comes up most commonly when you're changing a job. For example, if you're in a job or career situation that you don't like, and maybe you don't like the people that you worked with, and you found a better job, and now you feel this is your opportunity to let those people know just how you feel. Da, 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 da. That would be burning your bridges. It's as if you're crossing over a bridge, but you really don't know what's on the other side. You might need to run back to those very same people. So if you've burned your bridge, you can't go back to them. So don't burn your bridges means don't anger or upset people. You might need their help one day. You might need to cross back over that bridge and use their assistance. There are plenty more fish in the sea. There are plenty more fish in the sea. This meaning is, when you're facing a loss, remember that there are many other opportunities. So focus on the opportunities and not on the loss. This commonly comes up in a dating situation. If you were seeing a girl, or if you're a girl and you're seeing a guy and the girl or the guy rejects you, and at that moment you're feeling very depressed, despondent, you're focusing on the fish that got away, But you have to remember, the ocean is big, it's large. There are plenty more fish in the sea. Don't worry about the fish that got away. Focus on all the fish that are in the sea. So that's what that expression means. There are plenty more fish in the sea. It's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Now, I know most of the world is on the metric system, but unfortunately, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, in America we still have a British system, and we use half dozen. Half dozen is, well, let's step back. A dozen is 12. Half a dozen would be 6. So if I say it's 6 of one, but half dozen of the other, it sounds like it's different, but it really isn't. It just means no matter what you do, it will be the same result. For example, I was coming to campus this morning, and usually I use the east gate, the main gate, to get into the campus. But I was traveling with a friend, and they took the western gate, and I've never been through that gate before. And when I walked through, I realized that it was the same distance to my office as if I'd taken the main gate. So I said, oh, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It means no matter what you do, it will be the same result. Finally, here's an expression, like a deer in the headlights. Like a deer in the headlights. Now, most of you may know deer, but you may not know it the way we know it in New York. Where I live, there are many deer back in New York. And deer have a habit of crossing the road just as you're driving your automobile. Now, most animals, people, when they see a car coming, they run out of the way. But deer, they don't do that. If a deer is crossing the road and you come with your headlights on at night, they freeze. So when a person is like a deer in the headlights, it's like you ask them a question and they freeze. So for example, I asked a student a question and they were so surprised they just had a blank expression on their face. Like a deer in the headlights. Okay. So those are just a few idiomatic expressions. There are many, many, many expressions like that in English. And in fact, the different English-speaking countries have different idioms. England has different idioms. Australia has different idioms. The United States has different idioms, even though they're all English-speaking countries. If you like this presentation and you'd like to hear more idioms, please vote for this presentation and we can do additional idioms for your listening pleasure. Thank you very much. 감사합니다.